Remember when set romances were actually kept secret? Before TMZ, before Instagram, before every celebrity sneeze became breaking news, TV stars managed to date their co-stars without the entire world knowing about it. Some relationships stayed hidden for years. Others only came out decades later in tell-all interviews. Today we're counting down 14 TV stars who dated their co-stars in secret behind the scenes. And trust me, some of these are going to surprise you. Number 14. Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz. Coming in at number 14, we have Lisa Bonet, who played Denise Huxtable on The Cosby Show from 1984 to 1992, though her time on the main series was complicated. While Bonet was filming The Cosby Show and its spin-off A Different World, she met a young musician named Lenny Kravitz in 1985 at a new backstage concert. The two hit it off immediately, but here's the thing. NBC and The Cosby Show producers had very specific ideas about how their young stars should be perceived. Bonet and Kravitz kept their relationship extremely low-key during the early days. They eloped in Las Vegas on Bonet's 20th birthday in 1987, and for a while, the marriage stayed relatively quiet. But when Bonet became pregnant in 1988, the network wasn't exactly thrilled. Bill Cosby and the producers had cultivated a wholesome image for the show, and here was their free-spirited daughter character, having a baby out of wedlock. Or so it seemed to audiences who didn't know about the secret marriage. The pregnancy led to Bonet's departure from A Different World after just one season, and her relationship with The Cosby Show became strained. What's fascinating is that Bonet and Kravitz managed to keep many details of their relationship private despite both being in the public eye. They had daughter Zoe Kravitz in 1988, and while the marriage eventually ended in 1993, they maintained a friendship. Bonet went on to appear in various TV projects and films, while Kravitz became a rock legend. Their daughter Zoe followed in both their footsteps, becoming an acclaimed actress and the star of shows like Big Little Lies. Looking back, their ability to maintain privacy in the late 80s and early 90s feels almost impossible by today's standards. Number 13. Mark Harmon and Pam Dawber. Sliding into number 13, we have a love story that actually worked out. Mark Harmon and Pam Dawber. Now, you might know Dawber from Mork and Mindy, where she starred alongside Robin Williams from 1978 to 1982. And Harmon, well, he was everywhere in the 80s, playing Dr. Robert Caldwell on St. Elsewhere, and later becoming a household name on NCIS. But here's what most people don't know. When Harmon and Dawber started dating in 1986, they went to extraordinary lengths to keep it quiet. Harmon was considered one of TV's hottest heartthrobs at the time, regularly appearing on magazine covers and earning People's Sexiest Man Alive title. The network executives and publicists wanted to maintain his eligible bachelor image because apparently sex appeal sells better than happily married. Dawber had stepped back from the spotlight after Mork and Mindy ended, partly due to exhaustion from fame and partly because she wanted a more private life. When she and Harmon connected, they made a pact to keep their relationship out of the press. They didn't attend red carpet events together. They didn't give interviews about each other. They essentially pretended they weren't together for the sake of privacy. They married in 1987 in a secret ceremony with only a few close friends and family members present. Even then, they continued to keep their marriage extremely private. Harmon would do press for his shows and rarely mention his wife. Dawber turned down numerous roles to focus on raising their two sons away from the Hollywood machine. What's remarkable is that this strategy actually worked. The couple has now been married for over 35 years, and they still rarely discuss their relationship publicly. Dawber made a brief return to acting with guest appearances on NCIS to work with her husband, but even those were low-key. In an era where celebrity relationships are dissected frame by frame on social media, their decades-long commitment to privacy feels like a relic from another time. Number 12. Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg. At number 12 on our countdown, we have one of the most surprising secret relationships of the 90s, Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg. Now, both were massive stars. Danson was America's favorite bartender on Cheers from 1982 to 1993, and Goldberg was an Oscar-winning actress who'd conquered film and was about to make her mark on television. But here's where it gets messy. Danson was married to producer Cassandra Coates when he and Goldberg met on the set of the film Made in America in 1992. The two started a relationship that they initially tried to keep under wraps, though not very successfully. When the affair eventually became public in 1993, it caused an absolute media firestorm. What many people forget is that before the tabloids caught on, Danson and Goldberg went to great lengths to hide their relationship. They would meet secretly, avoid being photographed together, and generally try to maintain the illusion that nothing was happening. The problem was that both were too famous for this to work for long. The relationship cost Danson his marriage, and the divorce settlement with Coates was reportedly $30 million, one of the most expensive in Hollywood history at the time. It also came with serious public backlash. Danson's image as Sam Malone, the lovable womanizer with a heart of gold, took a hit when people realized he'd left his wife for another woman. Goldberg, meanwhile, faced her own criticism, though she had always been more open about her unconventional approach to relationships. The two stayed together until 1994 before calling it quits. Both have since moved on, with Danson marrying Mary Steinbergen in 1995 and remaining happily married to this day. Looking back, the Danson-Goldberg relationship represents a transitional moment in how celebrity affairs were covered. It was still possible to keep things secret for a little while, but the tabloid culture of the 90s was ramping up, making privacy increasingly impossible. Number 11. Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Brad Hall. Coming in at number 11, we have a relationship that's still going strong, Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Brad Hall. Most people know Louis-Dreyfus from Seinfeld, where she played Elaine Banias from 1990 to 1998. But before that, she was a cast member on Saturday Night Live from 1982 to 1985, and that's where she met Hall. Hall was also an SNL cast member and writer during the same period, and the two started dating while working on the show. Here's the thing though, they kept their relationship remarkably private. SNL sets are notorious for romances, breakups, and drama, but Louis-Dreyfus and Hall managed to fly under the radar. They got married in 1987, and most fans of their work had no idea they were even together, let alone married. This was partly because both were relatively early in their careers, and partly because they made a conscious decision not to publicize their personal lives. Throughout Louis-Dreyfus' run on Seinfeld, which made her one of the biggest stars on television, she rarely discussed her marriage in interviews. Hall continued working as an actor and writer, appearing on shows and creating the series Watching Ellie, which starred his wife. But even then, they maintained professional boundaries and didn't use their marriage as a publicity tool. What's impressive is that in an industry where most marriages fail, Louis-Dreyfus and Hall have been together for over 35 years. They raised 2 sons, both of whom have gone into entertainment, and they did it all while maintaining a level of privacy that seems almost impossible for celebrities today. The couple's ability to separate their professional and personal lives, even when working together, is a masterclass in maintaining a Hollywood marriage. They've worked on multiple projects together over the years, but they've never become a tabloid fixture or a celebrity couple brand. They're just 2 people who met at work, fell in love, and made it work. Number 10. Matthew Perry and Julia Roberts. At number 10, we have a relationship that was publicized, but what most people don't know is how it really started. Matthew Perry and Julia Roberts had a brief romance during the taping of Friends in 1996. Roberts guest starred as Susie Moss in the episode The One After the Super Bowl, and the chemistry between her and Perry's Chandler Bing was electric. But here's what audiences didn't know. Perry and Roberts had been flirting via fax machine. Yes, fax machine. Because it was 1996, for weeks before she even agreed to do the show. Perry later admitted that he convinced Roberts to appear on Friends by sending her funny messages and essentially courting her through written correspondence. By the time she showed up on set, there was already something brewing between them. They started dating during the filming of her episode, and for a while, they tried to keep it low-key. The problem was that both were at the height of their fame. Perry was one of the stars of the biggest sitcom on television, and Roberts was the biggest movie star in the world. Keeping anything secret was nearly impossible. The relationship ended fairly quickly, lasting only a few months. Perry later said that he ended things because he was intimidated by Roberts' level of fame and success. He felt insecure and couldn't handle the pressure. The brief romance represents an interesting moment when TV and film royalty collided, highlighting the hierarchy that existed between television and movie stars in the 90s. Number 9. David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston. Sliding into number 9, we have the Friends romance that fans desperately wanted to be real, David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston. For years, there were rumors that Schwimmer and Aniston had dated during the show's run from 1994 to 2004, but both always denied it. Then in 2021, during the Friends reunion special, they finally admitted the truth. Schwimmer and Aniston revealed that during the first season of Friends, they both had major crushes on each other. According to Schwimmer, it was like two ships passing, because one of them was always in a relationship. They had intense feelings for each other, but never acted on them because the timing was never right. Here's the thing that blew fans' minds. They admitted to cuddling on the couch together between takes and channeling all their real romantic tension into Ross and Rachel's on-screen relationship. Essentially, all that chemistry that made Ross and Rachel one of TV's greatest couples was based on genuine attraction. What makes this revelation so significant is that they kept it secret for over 25 years. During the height of Friends' popularity, when tabloids were desperate for any cast gossip, Schwimmer and Aniston never let it slip. They protected their friendship and their professional relationship by maintaining the secret. Aniston later said that they respected their friendship too much to cross that line and potentially ruin the dynamic of the show. Schwimmer agreed, noting that it would have been inappropriate given how important Friends was becoming. Both went on to have high-profile relationships with other people. Aniston married Brad Pitt in 2000, though they later divorced, and she's had several relationships since. Schwimmer has been married and divorced and has a daughter. But the revelation that they had mutual feelings during season 1 added a whole new layer to Friends lore. It's almost poetic that Ross and Rachel's will they won't they tension was fueled by actual will they won't they tension between the actors. And the fact that they chose not to pursue it to protect the show and their friendship shows a level of professionalism that's rare in Hollywood. Number 8, Jennifer Aniston and Tate Donovan. At number 8, we're staying with Jennifer Aniston, but this time, the relationship was very real and very secret, at least at first. Aniston dated actor Tate Donovan from 1995 to 1998, and things got really awkward when Donovan was cast as Rachel's boyfriend Joshua on Friends in 1998. By the time Donovan appeared on the show, he and Aniston had already broken up. Imagine having to act romantic with your ex while the wounds are still fresh and pretend everything is fine for the cameras. According to both actors, it was incredibly uncomfortable. But what most people don't know is how hard they worked to keep their relationship private while they were together. Aniston was becoming a massive star thanks to Friends, and Donovan was building his own career with roles in films and TV. They tried to avoid being photographed together and rarely discussed each other in interviews. This was the mid-90s when celebrity culture was exploding, but social media didn't exist yet. It was still possible for famous people to date somewhat privately if they were careful. Aniston and Donovan managed to keep their relationship relatively low-key for about 2 years before the tabloids caught on. When they broke up, Aniston requested that the Friends producers not recast Donovan's role, even though it meant working with her ex for several episodes. She felt it would be unprofessional to let their personal issues affect the show. Donovan agreed, and they both powered through the awkwardness. Looking back, this relationship shows how different things were in the 90s. Today, if a major TV star was dating someone and then they appeared on the show after breaking up, it would be dissected on social media in real time. Fans would analyze every glance and gesture. But back then, most viewers had no idea there was any real-life history between Aniston and Donovan. Donovan went on to have a successful career as an actor and director, while Aniston became one of the biggest stars in the world. They've both spoken kindly about each other in interviews since, suggesting they've moved past any awkwardness. Number 7. Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny. Coming in at number 7, we have the relationship that fans of The X-Files desperately wanted to be real, but probably never was, or was it? Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny starred as agents Dana Scully and Fox Mulder from 1993 to 2002, and their chemistry was undeniable. For years, rumors swirled that Anderson and Duchovny were secretly involved off-screen. The tabloids claimed they hated each other. Then they claimed they loved each other. The truth, as Anderson and Duchovny have both explained, is more complicated. According to both actors, they did not date during the show's original run. However, they've also admitted that there was definitely tension, both professional and personal. They've described their relationship as sibling-like, with all the fighting and making up that implies. But here's where it gets interesting. Anderson has said that during the first season, when they were spending enormous amounts of time together on set in Vancouver, they became incredibly close. Some reports suggest they may have briefly explored romantic feelings early on, but decided it wouldn't work. Both were involved with other people at various points during the show's run. Anderson married and divorced twice during this period, and Duchovny married actress Téa Leoni in 1997, though they later divorced. But the intense bond between Anderson and Duchovny never really went away. When The X-Files was revived in 2016 and again in 2018, Anderson and Duchovny had to confront their complicated history. By then, they'd both matured and could laugh about their earlier tensions. They've described their current relationship as a deep friendship. What makes this entry fascinating is that unlike some of the others on this list, we may never know the full truth about Anderson and Duchovny's relationship. They've kept certain details private, which is their right. But the fact that speculation continues decades later speaks to how powerful their on-screen chemistry was and how much fans wanted Mulder and Scully's love story to be real. Number 6. Johnny Galecki and Kaley Cuoco. At number 6 on our countdown, we have a relationship that stayed remarkably secret, despite both actors being on one of the most popular sitcoms of the 2000s. Johnny Galecki and Kaley Cuoco starred as Leonard and Penny on The Big Bang Theory from 2007 to 2019, and just like their characters, they dated in real life. But here's the kicker. They managed to keep it secret from almost everyone. Galecki and Cuoco started dating around 2007 or 2008 during the show's early seasons. They were in a relationship for about 2 years before breaking up, and almost nobody knew about it. The cast and crew of The Big Bang Theory knew, obviously, but the secret didn't leak to the press. The tabloids had no idea. Fans had no idea. It wasn't until years later, after the relationship had ended and both had moved on to other partners, that they finally revealed the truth. In a 2013 interview, Cuoco admitted that she and Galecki had dated for 2 years and that their breakup had been difficult but amicable. Galecki confirmed the relationship and praised Cuoco for how professionally she'd handled the situation. What's remarkable is that they continued to work together for over a decade after breaking up, playing love interests who eventually got married on the show. They had to film romantic scenes, kiss, and pretend to be in love while dealing with the reality that they had already tried the real thing and it hadn't worked out. Both have said that their real-life relationship helped them create better chemistry on screen, and that staying friends after the breakup was essential to making The Big Bang Theory work. Cuoco went on to marry and divorce tennis player Ryan Sweeting, and later married equestrian Carl Cook before divorcing again. Galecki has kept his personal life more private. The Galecki-Cuoco relationship is proof that it was still possible to keep secrets in Hollywood, even in the 2000s, as long as everyone involved was committed to privacy. It also shows incredible professionalism that they could maintain a working relationship and genuine friendship after a romantic relationship ended. Number 5. Sarah Michelle Gellar and David Boreanaz. Sliding into number 5, we have a rumored relationship that has never been fully confirmed, but has persisted for decades. Sarah Michelle Gellar and David Boreanaz from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Gellar played Buffy from 1997 to 2003, and Boreanaz played her vampire boyfriend Angel from 1997 to 1999 before getting his own spin-off. The chemistry between Buffy and Angel was intense, and rumors have circulated for years that Gellar and Boreanaz may have briefly dated during the show's early seasons. Both actors have always denied these rumors, but the speculation has never completely died down. What we do know is that Gellar and Boreanaz became very close during the filming of Buffy. They spent long hours together on set, often working late into the night for fight scenes and romantic scenes. Boreanaz has said that he and Gellar had a special bond, and that playing Angel opposite her Buffy was one of the highlights of his career. But here's where the timeline gets interesting. Boreanaz was married to his first wife, Ingrid Quinn, from 1997 to 1999. Gellar started dating Freddie Prinze Jr. in 1997 and married him in 2002. So, if anything romantic happened between Gellar and Boreanaz, it would have been very brief and very complicated. Some fans have pointed to moments in behind-the-scenes footage and interviews where Gellar and Boreanaz seem particularly comfortable with each other, but this could just as easily be explained by their professional chemistry and friendship. What makes this entry different from others on the list is that we're dealing with rumor and speculation rather than confirmed fact. But the persistence of these rumors over 2 decades suggests that at the very least there was something in the dynamic between Gellar and Boreanaz that fans and crew members picked up on. Both have gone on to have successful careers and long-term relationships. Gellar and Prince have been married for over 20 years, and Boreanaz married actress Jaime Bergman in 2001. Though their marriage has had its share of public difficulties. Whether anything romantic ever happened between the 2 Buffy co-stars, we may never know, and honestly, maybe that's how it should be. Number 4. Bruce Willis and Cybill Shepherd. At number 4, we have one of the most famous will they won't they relationships in 80s television, Bruce Willis and Cybill Shepherd from Moonlighting. The show ran from 1985 to 1989, and the chemistry between Willis's David Addison and Shepherd's Maddie Hayes was electric. But behind the scenes, things were complicated. Early on, there were definitely sparks. Both were attractive, charismatic actors working in close proximity and playing characters with intense romantic and sexual tension. It would have been stranger if there hadn't been some attraction. According to various reports, Willis and Shepherd did briefly explore a romantic relationship during the show's first season. Most accounts suggest it was a short-lived fling that ended badly and contributed to the notorious tension between them for the rest of the series. By seasons 2 and 3, Willis and Shepherd reportedly couldn't stand each other. They would film scenes separately when possible and communicate through intermediaries. The irony is that the on-screen chemistry remained powerful, even as the off-screen relationship deteriorated. What's particularly interesting is how this may have actually helped the show. Having 2 actors who were genuinely frustrated with each other probably added an edge to their performances. Willis went on to become a massive movie star, while Shepherd continued working in television and film. Whatever happened between them during that first season clearly left lasting scars. Number 3. Patrick Dempsey and Ellen Pompeo. Coming in at number 3, we have another case of persistent rumors that have never been confirmed. Patrick Dempsey and Ellen Pompeo from Grey's Anatomy. Dempsey played Derek McDreamy Shepherd from 2005 to 2015, and Pompeo has played Meredith Grey since the show began in 2005. The on-screen romance between Meredith and Derek was the heart of Grey's Anatomy for a decade, and fans desperately wanted the actors to be together in real life. Rumors have circulated for years about a possible off-screen romance, especially during the show's early seasons when both actors were spending enormous amounts of time together. But here's what we know for sure. Dempsey was married to makeup artist Rocky Parker from 1987 to 1994, and then married hairstylist Gillian Fink in 1999. Pompeo married music producer Chris Ivory in 2007, so any romantic relationship between Dempsey and Pompeo would have been complicated by existing commitments. What has been confirmed is that Dempsey and Pompeo had a very close working relationship that sometimes crossed into uncomfortable territory. Pompeo has described Dempsey as a brother figure, while Dempsey has praised Pompeo's talent and dedication. However, when Dempsey left Grey's Anatomy in 2015, there were reports of tension on set and disagreements between Dempsey and creator Shonda Rhimes. Some of these reports hinted at complicated dynamics between the cast members, though specifics were never made public. In more recent years, both Pompeo and Dempsey have been diplomatic about their time working together, focusing on the positive aspects of their collaboration. But the question of whether there was ever anything romantic between them remains unanswered. This entry highlights how difficult it is to separate fact from fiction when it comes to celebrity relationships, especially in the age of internet rumors and fan speculation. Just because 2 actors have incredible chemistry on screen doesn't mean anything happened off screen, but it also doesn't mean it didn't. Sometimes the truth stays secret forever. Number 2. Valerie Bertinelli and Eddie Van Halen. At number 2 on our countdown, we have a relationship that was eventually very public but started in secret, Valerie Bertinelli and Eddie Van Halen. Bertinelli was starring on One Day at a Time from 1975 to 1984, playing wholesome daughter Barbara Cooper. Meanwhile, Van Halen was revolutionizing rock music with his band Van Halen. The two met in 1980 when Bertinelli was still very much America's sweetheart on a family sitcom. Van Halen was already a rock god with a reputation for partying and excess. On paper, they shouldn't have worked. In practice, they fell hard for each other almost immediately. But here's the thing. Bertinelli's image was carefully controlled by the network and her management. She was playing a good girl on television, and dating a wild rock star wasn't exactly on brand. So in the beginning, she and Van Halen tried to keep their relationship quiet. They would sneak around, meeting in secret and avoiding photographers. Bertinelli has since written and spoken about this period, describing how difficult it was to maintain the double life of wholesome TV star by day and rock and roll girlfriend by night. Eventually, the secret came out, as these things always do. They got married in 1981, and Bertinelli's image shifted from innocent sitcom daughter to rock star wife. The marriage lasted until 2007, though both struggled with personal issues throughout, including Van Halen's substance abuse and Bertinelli's own battles with weight and self-image. The couple had one son, Wolfgang Van Halen, who became a musician in his own right. Despite their divorce, Bertinelli and Van Halen remained close until his death in 2020. Bertinelli has been open about how much she loved him and how difficult it was to watch him struggle with his demons. What makes this relationship significant is how it represented a clash between two different worlds, network television and rock and roll. Bertinelli's attempt to keep the relationship secret in the early days shows how protective she was of her image and her career, but ultimately, love won out over publicity concerns. Number 1. Tom Selleck and various Magnum PI co-stars. And finally, claiming our number 1 spot is Tom Selleck, the mustached icon who kept his romantic life remarkably private during his run on Magnum PI from 1980 to 1988. Selleck played Thomas Magnum, a private investigator in Hawaii, and became one of the biggest TV stars of the 80s. What most people don't know is that Selleck dated several women during his Magnum years, including some co-stars, and managed to keep most of it out of the press. This was during the height of his fame, when he was appearing on magazine covers and being called one of the sexiest men alive. Selleck had been married to model Jacqueline Ray from 1971 to 1982, right when Magnum was taking off. After that divorce, he was one of the most eligible bachelors in Hollywood, and the tabloids were desperate for information about his love life. But Selleck was famously private. He didn't talk about his relationships in interviews. He didn't bring dates to public events. He essentially shut down any attempts to make his personal life public. There were rumors about relationships with various co-stars and guest stars on Magnum PI, but Selleck never confirmed or denied any of them. What we do know is that Selleck met actress Gillian in 1983 when she was appearing in the stage show Cats in London. They started dating secretly and married in 1987 in a private ceremony that was kept so secret. The press didn't find out about it until after the fact. Even during his marriage to Mac, Selleck maintained his privacy. He rarely discussed his wife or their daughter in interviews. He kept his family life completely separate from his professional life. This level of privacy was unusual even in the 80s and would be nearly impossible today. Selleck's ability to keep his romantic life private during the Magnum PI years and beyond represents the last gasp of old Hollywood discretion. He came from a generation of actors who believed their personal lives were nobody's business, and he stuck to that principle even as celebrity culture was changing around him. Today, Selleck is still married to Gillian, and they've been together for over 35 years. He's continued his TV career with Blue Bloods, which has been running since 2010, and he's still as private as ever, rarely giving interviews and almost never discussing his personal life. In an age of Instagram and Twitter, Selleck's commitment to privacy feels almost revolutionary. And there you have it, 14 TV stars who dated their co-stars in secret behind the scenes. Some of these relationships eventually became public, while others remained hidden for decades. Which of these secret romances surprised you the most? Did we miss any co-star couples that flew under the radar? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more retro TV deep dives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.